What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your daily news report for Saturday, October 22nd. Here's what I can tell you. We have some good news. A lot of people have been saying that I only bring bad news. Well, the reason why a lot of the news that I'm bringing is bad news is because that's all that's really out there. Now, we do have some good news today. A lot of the news I'm going to bring you today is stuff that we've somewhat covered in the past. But again, I want to put it all together so you understand there are some good things that are happening. First, we have an announcement from the IRS. The IRS is going to be giving out stimulus checks to over 9 million households. That's good news there. We also have a contingency plan for railroads that's already in process. We're going to talk about the cost of living adjustment for food stamps, which is going to be at 12.5%. Good news is that money has already started coming out as of October 1st. Again, we're 22 days in, so that's good news there. But let's break this down. Let's get right down to it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. And like I've been doing lately, I will also timestamp this video so that if you want to go to a specific section, you don't have to watch the entire thing. Just go to the section that you're interested in and you can watch from there. So let's get started. So 9 million American households will be getting a letter from the IRS very soon, because the IRS says that they have identified more than 9 million households that are potentially missing out on additional stimulus money from 2021. This includes millions of dollars. Millions of people are going to be getting that $1,400 stimulus check that we received last time. A lot of people didn't get it. The IRS has identified those people, so they will be sending them the check or letter on how to get the check. This also includes millions of households that will get up to $3,600 for the child tax credit payments. A lot of people didn't understand how to actually get those, or they were supposed to get them. However, they didn't go through the proper channels, and so obviously they never did. They will get those checks now. There is also a $1,502 earned income tax credit. That's up to $1,502. So that's what's coming out from the IRS very soon. And in other news out of the IRS is actually going to be increasing the tax bracket for the tax year 2023. So if you were pushed into a higher tax bracket due to inflation and higher wages, then hopefully this will help and this will push you back down into the lower tax bracket. But let's take a look at what the tax brackets for 2023 will actually look like. Here they are. Here is the marginal tax bracket for tax year 2023 if you're married filing jointly. You can see it right here. So this $22,000 or less is 10% of your taxable income. Then obviously it scales up from there. And just understand, you only pay 10% of $22,000 and below. After that, it would be 12%, but on the amount over $22,000. And obviously it scales up from there as well. That is for married couples. If you are a single filer, right here, your taxable income of $11,000 or less is going to get a 10%, your tax will be 10% of the taxable income. Then obviously it scales up to 12%. Up over $11,000, 22% up over $44,725, so on and so forth. So that's the good news there is the IRS is actually fixing that, obviously due to inflation. And so hopefully you can bring home or actually take home a little bit more of your paycheck every single week. And in some more good news, something was done by Russia and Vladimir Putin, which this wouldn't have been a good thing. Vladimir Putin, he attempted to detonate a nuke, but there were issues upon the detonation. Now, some people say that there are people within the Kremlin that are trying to sabotage his plans as they don't want to use nuclear weapons. So the good news is nothing went off, and because obviously if something went off, it would have escalated the situation very quickly. But also the good news is there are people within the Kremlin that do not want to escalate so quickly and go nuclear, because obviously they understand the kind of the ramifications of doing so at this time. So good news there is, as of right now, he was kind of sabotaged by his own people. At least that's according to reports. And in more good news, we still have a couple more weeks of low gas prices. I say this because we have until the end of October, which means we have, well, technically a little bit over 1 week. But gas prices are still going to stay somewhat stable even up to the election. Once the election is over, gas prices are likely to head back up. Unless, and there's two things that could keep gas prices somewhat down or moderated at this point. The Biden administration could come out and release more barrels of oil from our strategic petroleum reserves. If they do this, it would bring gas prices down. The problem there is that too many people are against that idea. The expectation is also the fact that a global recession is going to cause prices to moderate, which is potentially a good thing. Now, obviously going into a recession isn't great, but if they can bring oil prices down, that would mean gas prices come down, energy costs come down, and everything would look a little bit better for a short amount of time. So that's some good news there. And you want some more good news? Well, the railroads could go on strike. Now, that's not good news. That's a problem. But here is the good news. The good news is that shippers are already putting their contingency plans together. This is the good news. This means that if we do see railroads decide to go on strike, guess what? We won't see huge delays in shipments. Right? We'll likely see prices increase on everyday goods, which isn't great, but we can expect it. We could expect that because, well, we've already been told that, you know what, we're not shipping those things through the railways anymore. We're going to use trucks. And because of that, well, it would look like that we would spend a little bit extra money, but it would be something that we can anticipate and expect. So that's the good news, is shipping companies are not waiting until the last minute and then try to come up with a plan. They're already putting their contingency plans together, which means hopefully the economy, we'll have to pay a little bit more, but at least we're not going to see a hit of about $2 billion per day. So that's some good news there. And here's some more good news. The cost of living for food stamps, the cost of living adjustment, for food stamps is already started coming out on October 1st. This is a 12.5% increase so far this year. Now, from what community members have been telling me, this has been a huge help. One person said they wouldn't have been able to afford their weekly groceries without this help. Another person said a 12.5% increase for 2023 is huge, especially if we see food prices go back down. One other community member said 12.5% is a big help. However, I'm still seeing my shelves empty. This is at Walmart, this is at Costco, and I'm also seeing this at Kroger. And keep in mind, Kroger and Albertsons have decided to merge. So if you're seeing issues at Kroger and you have an Albertsons nearby, you could potentially either see issues at both stores, or you might be able to see one store actually prop the other one up and provide the products that they don't have. So good news there. But like I said, there's a lot of good news out there. The problem is we got to kind of go through the weeds to find it. And that's the hard part. And so I'm sorry if I always seem like the bad news bear, Mr. Doom and Gloom, but that's kind of what we're seeing is there's a lot of bad things going on. And I want to fill you in on everything that's happening, not just the good news. I don't just want to show you one side of the economy that everything's great, when honestly there's still a lot of issues going on. So again, I just want to thank you guys for bearing with me on this. Hopefully there's some good news coming up, even better news than what I provide today. But as we get more information, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.